What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Given. I am here from another fucking dimension to decimate your screens and let you know who is better, men versus women. Who are the better drivers? Now I have some studies here to show you, and I think these are some of the studies Hassan probably looked at when he was battling Andrew Tate, the god of the manosphere, apparently, in his debate or impromptu debate. It was very short-lived. Andrew got bored, man got kicked off. It is what it is. But anyway, we move. So first and foremost, who is the better driver? So we're gonna load up the first study here real quick. Let's go full screen. So who's the better driver? Now this is all dependent on what you are talking about in terms of better. Are you talking about who is the more safe driver or who is the more skilled driver? So as it says here on the study, we'll start with the former. Confused.com released a study in late 2019 to settle the debate of which gender makes best drivers. And the findings were very, very interesting. The data revealed that when it comes to passing the driving test for the first time, men trumped women. In 2018, 1.6 million learners took the driving test and 53% were women. So the other 47% were men. However, 31% of women failed, as opposed to only 24% of men. When it comes to first time pass rates, 11% of men passed first time, while only 9% of women did. So if we were purely defining which is the better gender on the road by test pass rates, men take the gold for this one. And this part is all that matters in the article. If you want to read the rest of the article, feel free. There's another section which I'm going to bring up in a little second, but let's just digest this. So basically, men off rip are better drivers when they're learning. They gain the information, they soak it up really easily. They're more alert. This is, again, you can read all these other studies on alertness and all this stuff between men and women. I ain't going to break it down for you. Just to let you guys know why I am doing this. I am a biologist. I studied biological sciences in university. I did multiple studies, using the scientific method, getting data, gathering it, collaborating it, making sure it is legitimate, getting that peer review, done that, been there, done that. I also did a master's in molecular medicine. So I know a thing or two about studies because I've done a few studies. Okay, I've done a few studies. If you want to find out my credibility, I'll give you my LinkedIn. You can check it out. Hit me up on Instagram right there. I will give you my LinkedIn. You can check me out. Anyway, let us move. So men are more skilled drivers on just go. They're able to hit the maneuvers better because that's a driving test. You have to hit all the maneuvers. You have to be safe driver. So they could be safe drivers if they wanted to. They could be safe drivers if they wanted to. But men are stupid. And this is where Andrew loses that debate. He gets trapped in the corner, and I'll deduce that right here. So the second thing is safer. Who is the safer driver? And this is a no-brainer. Women are safer drivers. Why? Because men in any realm are always reckless. In life, reckless. In driving, reckless. In swimming, probably reckless. In anything, men are probably going to be more reckless than women. Because men are more risk takers. That's what they do. They go out there, pillage, do what they have to do. They go out there, wars, men. They go out there and do what they gotta do. They're more risk adverse than women are. So they end up doing things like speeding, moving in a cars with no insurance or no tax, drink driving or careless driving. And it seems that women have it in the bag here. So women are the safer drivers on the road. And this leads to what Hassan was saying about insurance costs. Men have to pay more insurance because, again, they're the riskier drivers. Another study that was done, is probably highlighted in this study as well, was looking specifically at driving patterns. Scientists could deduce who was driving, man or woman. Men tended to drive at faster speeds and be more reckless when turning it on angles, whereas women were safer, slower, smoother when driving. So in terms of safety, women trump men 110%. Women are out here safer drivers than men. Big up my queens, keeping us safe on the roads, and big up the man them being skilled on the roads, but being total dickheads, bruv. You guys causing 79% of offenses on the road. That's mad. Tone that down. You're making us look bad. But anyway, so in terms of safety, men are not the ones. In terms of raw skill, men are the one. And just to let that hit home in terms of raw skill, we're gonna look here at a history of female drivers in the most prestigious sport in racing, and that is Formula One. Only 5 female drivers have ever attempted to qualify for an F1 race. The last being Giovanna Amati in a woeful Brabham at the 1992 Brazilian Grand Prix. Up to and including the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, that's 538 Grand Prix since a female driver attempted to qualify for an F1 race. Men have been out here. The only people stopping women from driving an F1 is money. Money and skill, essentially. If your family has money and when you go in F1, you can do it. Granted, you have the talent. And as we see, it's been 538 Grand Prix since a female actually raced in any F1 race. That's crazy. That is crazy. Moving forward, Maria Teresa de Phillips was first taking part in 3 races in the 1950s before Leila Lombardi arrived in the 1970s. And the shortened 1975 Spanish Grand Prix, Lombardi scored a half point in her March machine. To date, this is the only time a female driver has ever scored points in an F1 Grand Prix. This lady right here has been the only woman to actually score points in an F1 Grand Prix. And fun fact, Toto Wolff's wife was actually a test driver for Williams. Crazy, right? Crazy. And this was only in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. You can read the article and make sure. Yeah, there you go. It's right there, 2015. But yeah, so right there and then we can see men are the more skilled drivers, women are the more safe drivers. Studies, empirical data, there you go. Everyone's happy. 1.6 million people in that pool for the skilled drivers. Men passing on the first time, so you can't even say the sample size was small. Sample size was sufficient. If you want to go into detail, you can always go to confused.com and actually link the actual study itself fully and read the intricacies of the study and whatnot. Do that for yourself in your own time. But yeah, and let me just take you to the actual clip that started this all. And this was the clip. Actually, this is a great summarizer clip. Actually, it's actually on Abba and Preach. And yeah, and Abba and Preach were like, yeah, he got him, which he did. In terms of safety, he got him. But in terms of actual raw skill, which I'm pretty sure if I use my 2 brain cells to actually deduce this, I think Andrew Tate was merely alluding to the fact that men are more skilled drivers, because he'd be pushing Lambos in the mountains of Romania. He'd be pushing Lambos on the streets at high speed. And as we know, men are reckless drivers. He's a reckless driver. So here we go. So he is a skilled driver. Compared to women, he's a skilled driver. So on average, men who are drivers are more skilled, but they're more risk adverse, which means they are more likely to commit or more likely to end up in accidents. You see what I'm saying? You follow my thinking here. If you follow, you follow. If you don't, dummy. But anyway, so men more skilled, women more safe, more obedient to the rules of the road. Men are like, F this, I got to get there in time. Speed. Anyway, let's listen to this.
Which ends up charging men higher rates than women.
Facts.
Statistical likelihood that men are more dangerous drivers
100%.
than women across the board and get into more car accidents across the board.
100%.
You're going to look at all of that and say it doesn't matter because that does not correspond to my own personal experiences. Then you're.
I think in this case, Andrew was just really tired. Like, I'm not defending Andrew or anything, but he couldn't use his last 3 brain cells to really come up with the conclusion of this. He was just like, bro, this is boring. I want to have fun. Let's be fun. This guy's boring, bringing up studies and shit. I don't want to talk about that. Let's move past it. But easily could be debated again. If I can find these studies, and Hassan obviously omitted the point that men are more skilled drivers, and he just went straight to the studies of, he went straight to the empirical evidence in terms of insurance companies, which is, yeah, fair enough. But that's men in all realms. Who are the most violent people on earth? Men. So what are we saying? So men can't lead in relationships because they're more violent? You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of shit you have to really be looking out for. Like, where is this going? But in terms of raw skill and raw talent, men are better drivers. In terms of safety, women are safer drivers. Men are better drivers. Women are safer drivers. So we'll leave it at that. Yep.
silly. You're being silly. You're being a silly person.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I love Abba, man. Man's jokes.
Every vested interest in making sure these statistics are accurate, so they can try
100%.
accordingly and maximize their profit. Basically, these companies are cooking up these studies to be inaccurate.
100%.
They can shove themselves and shoot themselves in the foot. What are you smoking? Of course. So on this point, Hassan's absolutely correct, and I have no problem saying that, despite how I feel about it.
Yep, Hassan is absolutely correct. And give credit where credit's due. Hassan got Andrew on that. But again, it depends what you're looking at when you're talking about better driver. You're talking about safer driver. If the question was, who are safer drivers, then we would say women, without a shadow of a doubt. But the question says, who are better drivers? And it depends how you look at it. So that is a subjective part of the question. It depends how you look at that question. If you're talking about raw skill, Formula One, all men. Hasn't been a woman for God knows how long, since 1975. In an actual race, winning actual points. And to be a test driver, it was 2015, Total Wolff's wife. Yo, Susie Wolff. Killing the game, bro. I would have loved to see an F1, but anyway, it is what it is. Being managed by a husband, that would have been hilarious. But I digress. Guys, hope you guys put some or shed some light on the situation of who are better drivers, men versus women. Just to summarize, men are more skilled drivers. Women are more safe drivers because they abide by the rules and the laws. And as Andrew Tate said, I've listened to about this guy. As he says, women love the matrix. They love order and they love to be, or should I say, follow the rules. Yeah, there you go, follow the rules. We'll leave it there, guys. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Hopefully that's been helpful. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, let me know your thoughts on this topic. And yeah, what's your stance? What's your position? What do you consider as a better driver? Skill or safety? Skill or safety? Which one constitutes a better driver? Skill or safety? There you go. Anyway, peace.